Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my weeks 33 and 34 pregnancy update. I was able to keep notes this time and my symptoms for the past 2 weeks have actually been pretty well the same for both weeks. So there wasn't a huge change in symptoms from week 33 to 34. I can't believe I'm 34 weeks pregnant. It seems so surreal to think that I'm 8.5 months and that the day that I'm filming this on October 18th. In 1 month, we will meet baby boy. It is insane to me. So insane, but so exciting. So let's jump into the symptoms. I'm going to start with maybe the most apparent one, or sort of explain what's going on here. I officially took my rings off my hands. I know I mentioned in my last pregnancy update that my hands were getting really swollen and that moment was coming. We knew it was coming. Well, finally about a couple days ago, I think, I took them off. Oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. My hand was so swollen. So now I'm wearing my rings on a necklace and yeah, still experiencing swelling. The swelling hasn't been so severe or intense that I've felt overly concerned about it, and I'll get to the doctor's appointment I had last week and what my doctor said about it. But it is something that we're monitoring. It is something that I'm being aware of. I just know that this is sort of the same amount of swelling that I experienced with Hugo. That's a big question I get, is like, is this the same amount of swelling that you experienced during your first pregnancy? And it is. If anything, I would say it's maybe even a little bit less because I'm not quite as active as I was during my last pregnancy, and it shows in my feet and ankles, but I am still swelling. I wrote hard night sleep. Sleeping has become so difficult, which is to be expected, and I think I mentioned that in my last pregnancy update, but baby boy is just feeling so big. I ordered a bunch of pillows off Target. I think I ordered 6. Like pretty intense, but I ordered them in anticipation. Like so many of you had said, for C-section recovery you need to be propped up, you need a lot of pillows, and we just didn't have a lot of like firmer, plusher pillows that could be supportive for me in recovery, and so I ordered a bunch of those. So those have been really helping during the night. I sleep with one under my belly, sometimes I'll sleep with one against my back. So for support, that's been great, but I'm definitely still getting up what feels like a million times in the night, and that's just how it's gonna be from now until hopefully sooner rather than later after baby's here. Hopefully he'll be a good sleeper. We'll see, I don't know. I wrote shortness of breath. So that's definitely a symptom that I've been experiencing and something I'll touch back on again after I talk about my doctor's appointment. I wrote a lot of pressure. So that's definitely something that has ramped up in the past few days, has been the amount of pressure I feel down in my cervix. There's a lot of like lightning crotch, a lot of like weird little pains and twinges and sensation down there, and it's been really exciting because I feel like it's my body's way of preparing me and like letting me know that like, okay, we're coming to the end of this, but it's also like a little nerve-wracking. And I'm like, baby, you just gotta stay in there until 38 weeks and 6 days when we have the C-section. Let's talk about the doctor's appointment. So I had a doctor's appointment when was it? I guess last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday, and I got to see my doctor again, which was so great. I hadn't seen her in a few months. I had been seeing the midwife consistently. It was so nice to see her again. We started the appointment, I started it with an ultrasound, so the 34-week growth scan. It wasn't much that the ultrasound technician herself could tell me, but I got to see him, I got to hear his heartbeat, he looked really cute. And then she sent me, she gave me some pictures. They're right here, I'll show you. If you didn't watch my vlog, here's his little face. I don't know if you can see, like that's his forehead, his nose, and his mouth, and then his little body down here. So yeah, that went really well. And then I went to see my doctor afterward, and she said that he was measuring 5 pounds and 6 ounces, and that puts him in the 50th percentile. So he's sort of right in the middle there, which is good. And she said that she had sent the ultrasound pictures to the specialist and that he said everything looked great. I believe that this was around the time with Hugo that the specialist had seen the pictures and wanted us to see him and just double check a few developmental things with his brain. I sort of remember that happening around this time, but with this baby, things seem to be checking out, which is great. And everything was fine with Hugo too. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Everything looked fabulous. And then I had only gained, she said like 3 pounds or something. That's something quite low. I think I was like 166 my last appointment, and this appointment I was like 168 or something. And then we just kind of talked about some of my symptoms and the swelling. So sorry, the lighting keeps going crazy. The clouds are, it's a very sunny day, but there are a lot of clouds in the sky. She seems to be a little bit concerned about my swelling and just wants me to keep an eye on it, make sure it's not preeclampsia, and that if those symptoms are leading up to preeclampsia, that we are being as proactive as possible. So she asked me how my vision was. She did a reflex test on my legs. She asked me about the swelling in my feet and my ankles, told me to keep an eye on that, told me to keep an eye on my hands. And there was one other thing. She asked me like if I had been feeling nauseous, and I haven't. So for the most part, I think we're okay. But I have been keeping for the past, since the appointment, the headaches. That's another symptom that I've been experiencing. So I want to say at least 3 times a week. Usually it's 4 or 5 times a week. I have some sort of at least one headache a day, and I'll take Tylenol and I'll feel fine afterward. But that was something that she was minorly concerned about, because again, that is a symptom of preeclampsia and can be sort of a red flag. So I've been keeping, since the appointment, I have been keeping notes like every day on if I experience a headache, how my swelling is, and anything else. So I have been I have had since for the past 4 days, 3 of those days I've had a headache. They haven't been super severe though, and like that's what I said to her. I was like, they haven't been really severe, and once I've taken some Tylenol, they've kind of gone away. So I don't know if that's just like a natural part of like where I am in my pregnancy. Have I eaten something weird? Did I eat too much sugar, processed food? Did I not have enough caffeine? Like all of those questions kind of come into my head before going immediately to like, oh my gosh, I have preeclampsia. So we'll keep an eye on it. My next doctor's appointment is the 30th. So in 2 weeks, I'll go for the strep B vaginal swab test. And that day I can kind of chat with her about the swelling and the headaches and stuff. And I mean, if God forbid it were to get worse this next week, I could always call and go in if I felt like I needed to get checked sooner. So it seems like after that appointment, I'll probably be going in once a week, which is bananas, because at that appointment I will be 36 weeks pregnant, and we'll be like pretty much into November. So I can imagine that after that 30-week appointment, I'll probably be going in once a week until the C-section. So we didn't chat about the details of the C-section. I think she's waiting until we get a little bit closer. I did, however, ask her about my C-section and whether it was an elective, if it was being categorized as an elective C-section or a medically necessary C-section, because that was something in my past few weekly vlogs some people have brought up. And I totally agreed. I wanted to double check that because in most cases, an elective C-section is not covered under insurance. And I was pretty sure that my C-section was being categorized and was medically necessary because of the 4th degree tear and the rectal tear I experienced with my first pregnancy, and how like awful that whole labor, delivery, and recovery process was, and from all the conversations that I had had with my doctor. But I did want to double check, being that I hadn't seen her in a while and I was just getting nervous. And so yay, it is a medically necessary C-section, which is fantastic. I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, next time I go, I will register. I'm saying that out loud so that I actually do it. I have not registered yet at the hospital. It's such an easy process. I remember when I registered with Hugo, it was so easy. So I need to do that next time. And the very last thing I wrote down was bagels are life. So that's sort of like a fun symptom. In the past few weeks, I have rekindled my love of bagels, all things bagels. I love bagels so much, and I just have been obsessed with bagels. So you will have to let me know down in the comments if you are pregnant and if you too have an intense love of bagels during your pregnancy. I didn't experience quite as much like yearning for them in the beginning, but during this 3rd trimester I've definitely found myself wanting a bagel every single morning, and if I don't have it in the morning, maybe in the afternoon. So that's been fun. And that's it for my 33 and 34 week update. I will show you a belly shot now. All right, here's my 34 week 34 belly. I forgot to mention, but this line is getting darker, but it's definitely not as dark as it was when I was pregnant with Hugo, which is interesting. And from the side, I feel like it got a little bit lower, but maybe that's just me. And then the other side. And here he is. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, consider a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.